Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of the Canadian Immigration Institute. I'm Mark Holthe, Canadian immigration lawyer, and I'm super excited to have you guys join me today because I have something very, very special. I have a special guest that's joining me, and I'm grateful that he was able to take a little bit of time out from his busy day to join us. And what he's going to be sharing is his TR to PR pathway journey. He is now a permanent resident. So we're going to invite my special guest on in a little bit. Those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this live Q&A that we do is an opportunity for you to learn a little bit about what's the latest updates on Canadian immigration, as well as ask your questions that you have related to pretty much anything. So over the last while, there's been a lot of discussion about the temporary resident to permanent resident pathways that was launched on May the 6th. And many of you who were hoping to get through, some got through, some didn't, were wondering if they're going to open it up again for international grads. There's still room for those of you who fit within the essential worker category, but lots of people have just been wondering, how long is this going to take? What are we going to have to do in order to planning our future? What's going to happen with work permit expiries and things like that, because there is no currently a bridging option. And so many people have been asking tons of questions. And I thought, you know what? We're now starting to see how fast this is going through. And literally just a little bit over a month, we're now starting to see people actually become permanent residents of Canada through this program, which is pretty darn quick. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to shift over here and I'm going to invite in my guest for the first little part of the show. We're going to ask him some questions, and then we're going to have an opportunity to, even you guys, if you want to ask some questions to our guest, we'll open it up. I'm sure he'd be willing to field a few of those. So I will welcome in Shivam. How are you, Shivam?
Good, Mark. How are you?
Really good. It's great to have you joining me here on the live Q&A this morning on the Canadian Immigration Institute.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Excellent. So those of you who have questions, hold off your questions for just a little bit, but we'll definitely pull them in. And Shivam, I want to start off by congratulating you as being one of the most recent permanent residents of Canada. How does it feel?
It feels good. I guess there was one people ahead of me. They got on 11 June permanent residence, and I got on 15.
Yep.
Maybe it's second or third number, I believe.
Yeah.
We never heard of the second one.
Yeah. So there's a few people that got through just a little bit before, and Igor is tuned in here as well. He's given a shout out here. And so, so those of you who are getting ready to post some questions, hold off, because we want to share a little bit of insight on Shivam's experience, and hopefully it will help all of you. So, Shivam, I want to start off with, now you were one of the subscribers to my TR to PR pathway course. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. So from first day.
Yeah, the first day. And so do you feel like it helped you?
Because there was no information out there. So if we didn't know there's any 0008 form or any kind of form, we don't know what to do in one day to fill it out. And we can see from 40,000, most, I guess 20 to 25,000 did the mistakes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it really helped a lot.
And so within the course, I kind of rolled things out the moment I heard about them. And so in reality, you guys were pretty prepared before the course was even launched, or I should say before the application process was even opened up, before we even received the guide. You guys were pretty up to speed with what likely you were going to expect, weren't you?
Yeah, thanks to you. You came every day, 1 hour, 2 hours lives, and that really helps a lot, like all the forms and all. Yeah.
So the big question lots of people are asking is, how long did it take you to actually submit your application after taking the course?
So lots of people were expecting the portal to be opened at 12 p.m. Eastern time, but it actually opened 2 or 3 minutes before. So when as soon as it opened around 11:57 or 11:58, I jumped in, and I was finished around 12:01 Eastern time.
Seriously. So we're talking
Yeah.
3 minutes it took you to get everything uploaded and your application submitted.
More or less, yeah.
Okay. So any mistakes? Did you make any mistakes in your application?
I didn't upload the letter of explanation for my part-time jobs that were overlapping to the full times, but I guess there was no gaps in the personal history, so really didn't matter much, and the work is done in the summertime, so they didn't even care about it.
Gotcha. And so
Yeah.
you are so what's your family composition? Are you married? Are you single?
No, I'm single.
Okay, so that helps as well, right? Because there's fewer
Oh
forms to upload.
yeah. Like one of my friend got the he's married, and it took him 15 more minutes to figure it out to review each, and but I didn't review all of the documents in 3 minutes. You cannot review it. Like a day before, you showed us the checklist, and on the portal, you even told to write the exact name for the file, whatever is there. So if that is correct, and you already checked that, it should be fine, right?
Yeah, that was a little tip that I shared with you guys, wasn't it? And it's the
Yeah.
same. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
The same thing I've been telling people for 5 years through Express Entry. How critical it is to name your actual file exactly as the
Yeah.
section is, so that you can match them up directly. So very cool. Okay, so you're single. So how old are you, Shivam?
I'm 22. Will be 23 this September.
Amazing. That is so
Yeah.
cool. And you went through the international graduate stream, correct?
Yeah, international graduates.
Okay. And so where did you complete your school?
From Okanagan College, Kelowna, BC.
Nice. And what's your
Yeah.
work? What are you doing?
I'm the manager at the pizza shop. There's a local BC franchisee called Fresh Slice Pizza, and they're
Hmm.
expanding in Alberta too right now.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
cool. So
The
that was
manager.
your employment. And so what kind of things did you include to prove that you were currently employed?
Uh, because in the international graduate, we didn't needed anything. We just needed one line from the employer, and just yeah, he's working here full time. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't include any knock, any duties, nothing. Just the job title and employer name and employer address with the date
Great.
sign,
Great.
obviously.
That's really important, Shivam, because many people, the instructions specifically stated that you needed to include duties and responsibilities and everything in the letter. And but
Yeah.
many international graduates didn't have perfect reference letters, and so the fact that you were able to get it approved with just a simple bare reference letter
Yeah.
confirming that you were currently employed is wonderful. I think that's wonderful because when
Yeah.
it comes to not code and those things, it's irrelevant for the purposes of the international graduate stream. So I'm glad that they're showing mercy with that. Now, was there
Yeah.
anything else with your application that maybe wasn't completely perfect with what the document checklist had asked you to provide? Was there anything
According
else?
to document checklist was okay. If you remember a few months before on your live, I asked, I got a refusal from BC PNP arms from BC. So that was a little tricky because I didn't explain anything. I just clicked no, and then in the yeah, I got the refusal for BC PNP. No explanation at all. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's just fine. That's great.
Yeah,
And so you had your medical, you had your
yeah,
police certificates, so there was
yeah.
nothing that you were waiting on.
No, everything up front.
What about your education? What did you include for your education?
I included the transcript,
Hmm.
the college degree that we get on the ceremony, and the completion letter that we use for to apply for work permits and all.
Okay,
So three
perfect.
documents and study permit and the same document, one PDF.
Excellent. That's great. Okay, well, I think some of our listeners might have a few questions for you.
Oh,
Shivam,
yeah.
are you able to take a few questions?
I can take all till 10 o'clock.
All right. So here's what we've got here. So where are you? You're out in BC, right?
Yeah, I am in BC.
Okay. All right. So let's see who we have here. So we've got Emil from Argentina's tuning in here. We've got Likey from Germany. There's people all over. Thesaurus is from Colombo. Um, let's see who else we have here. And you can see the question. So Harjot says,
Yeah.
what is the pace? What is the pace of AOR for TR to PR? How many people are receiving? Well, what do you think,
Around
Shivam?
around 100 people a day.
Yeah, around 100
Around,
people a day. That seems to be
yeah.
what's coming
And
out.
because the people started and they took around 10-15 minutes to review it. From 9:10 till 9:30, there's so many people in that bracket. From the first 10 minutes bracket, they got it early, but they are not going like first in and first out for that from 9:10 to 9:30 bracket.
Mhm. There's
Yeah,
a lot of
but,
people. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people we seen from yesterday 9/11 like who applied 11 minutes after, so they got it in just yesterday. But few and there was a guy who got uh, for one o'clock in the afternoon, and they're already PR,
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
right?
And not every officer is the same either. So
Yeah, because
some officers take a little bit more time to process. Not everybody's applications are the same, right? Your
yeah,
application was pretty clean. There was not a
yeah,
lot of issues with it. But other
not.
applications that might require some other documents, it could delay. So you
And
didn't just
in mine too.
mhm. Yep.
In mine too, I believe biometric letter made a little delay. Otherwise, it could be we could have just seen it in the main.
Yeah. So it took a
Yeah,
little bit. Now, one
yeah,
question. I know that you didn't just submit your own application. You were
yeah,
helping someone else too. Can you tell us a little bit
yeah.
about that?
Yeah, my sister, she lives in Winnipeg, so she just got the work permit in January, right? So I had she if she was like if from the traditional way she has to do 1 year experience and all, and she needed to wait around 2 more years almost. Right. So for her, I have to apply because she got her every all the documents as well ready.
Yeah. Very, very
Yeah.
cool. So has she, so at this stage, just to clarify, has she received her permanent residence now or not yet?
No, she got around 9:20, 9:25 ish. I don't remember exact timing on her, but she didn't even got her AOR. But I believe
Yeah.
once we are getting the AOR, it's just a matter of 1 or 1.5 months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ex- Excellent. That's great. I'm just posting here all the congratulations that you're receiving from, yeah, from everyone that's tuning in there. So Igor's like 3 minutes. Seriously, that's how fast you did it. That's
Yeah.
great. That's wonderful. So there's a we've got lots of people with congratulations to you, and so I want to ask you a few more questions too. So first off, we started with how long it took you to file. So you've indicated 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
then, what was the next step? So biometrics. How long did it take from you filing on May 6th to getting your biometrics request?
Biometric request came in 19 May, and I got it in the morning, and luckily there was a spot available in that same day. So I did just drove to Kelowna and just did biometric on the same day too.
Yeah. And when did you
Yeah,
get your acknowledgement of receipt?
just the same date, 19, but after 3 hours, but still the same date.
Gotcha. Okay. And then what was the next step after you got your acknowledgement of receipt? Then what was the next step?
After that, on 5 June, I just heard from there. I got the pre-arrival letter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
can you
there's
tell
a
can you
sorry.
tell everyone what that pre-arrival letter was?
Pre-arrival letter basically it helps us for to build a resume and all that stuff. But it you only applies to people who are outside the Canada. um, uh, it doesn't really mean to us. So I called IRCC the next day in the morning, and why they send me? They say generally it can be sent to everybody, but in my case, it is sent at the end of the application. And then I asked them the status of my application, and they say all stages are clear.
Yeah.
From 5 June, I was pretty much all right. That's done.
Very, very cool. Okay, so you got your pre-arrival letter, which every permanent resident gets it. And
Yeah.
then so then what was the next step after that?
On I guess I'm not sure. Is it a 12 June or 14 June? We got the portal request that they will ask the email ID and what's your address, what's your original date of entry, and
Mm-hmm.
are you still residing here? What's the address on it? We don't need to upload any document for it. We just need to simply reply to the email,
Yep.
and if you are fast enough, you will get the your portal credentials the same day. But in my case, we I got it next morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And so you responded to that email, and then how long did it take you after that? Which I think was right around June 11th, I think you'd indicated. So then how long did it take you after you responded to that email to get your permanent residence?
On 15 June, when they send the credentials like the password and all for the portal, so we see there's a they will ask for the address because they are confirming that you are still inside the
Still in
Canada, right?
Canada. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
and then they will ask the photograph for the PR card, and when you submit that, in some like the guy or girl who got the PR on 11 June, so they got it in the email, congratulations, you are PR. But in
Yeah,
my case, there was a COPR letter already waiting in the portal.
yeah. And
Yeah,
which
as soon as
portal?
I hit the submit, and there was the COPR letter there.
Yeah. And which portal was it, Shivam?
It is the one we were saying that they're gonna use it for TR to PR program earlier. So
Mm-hmm.
nowadays they are using for PNP paper based applications.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's the first one that we talked about in the course and the one that I thought maybe they were going to do it in. It's so strange. There's so many different portals that they're using to
Yeah.
get everybody landed, isn't there?
To apply, they created the TR to PR portal. For the fees, they directed to a different portal. For to link or submit the additional document, they still want the CIC secure account, and now to confirm the permanent residency, they want the different portal.
Yep, it's crazy. But
Yeah.
my friend, congratulations. You are now a permanent resident. And wow, your future is bright. You're only 22 years old. You've got lots of time ahead of you. This is really,
Yeah.
really exciting. Okay,
Thank you.
let's get to a few questions from some of the
Sure.
viewers. So Chris says, did you submit an official transcript with your
Yes,
application?
yes, an official transcript. Because for the work permit, I just used the same one to apply for when I had back in 1 or 2 years.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah, so I just used the same one.
All right. Vishvesh says that he applied 12:19 Eastern time,
Yeah.
but no AOR yet. He hasn't received an acknowledgement of receipt yet. Is that something that he
So
should worry about?
no, there's no nothing to be worried of. I believe what we say. There's the 23 June. He will get the AOR latest by 30 or maybe first week of the July, and
Yeah.
he will be PR on the as early as by 15 August.
Yeah, that's right on schedule. And I think
Yeah.
many people, it's so crazy with our this social world that we have where we share everything. You know, when permanent residence was in existence when I started practicing, in some countries, Shivam, it would take 6 or 7 years to get permanent
It takes
residence.
it
You know,
takes like people who applied in India before 2014. and they waited till 2018 to get their PR.
Yep.
But who applied in 2015 in the express entry? They got in the same year.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Right?
And now you can see people are complaining about not getting their application approved in 2 months, right? So it's the whole world has shifted and it's a very unique time. And
Mhm.
we'll just have to see where it goes. Okay, let's see what else we have here. See if we have any other questions. Okay, so George says, how are they doing it this quick, Mark? What about the background checks? Well, the
Uh,
reality is the background checks are dependent upon the country you're from. Some go really fast, others don't. Remember though that a lot of background checks were done before you ever came to Canada. So the same level of scrutiny that Canada has to do for someone who's in the country isn't the same as if you've never ever come. And so that's one of the reasons that they can do it faster is because everybody's already here, right, Shivam?
oh yeah. So basically in the international graduate stream, there's nothing to even see in it. They
Yeah,
just want to see your else. They just want to see your college degrees, right? You maintain the status. Basically, that's it. Why they want to waste the time if when they have the huge targets?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Okay, let's get a couple more and then we'll let you go. So you can see all these congratulations and everything. All
yeah.
these people
Thank you.
extending their appreciation. All right. Yes. It looks like lots of congratulations. I'm not sure if there's any more questions that we can pull out here. Um, well, here's one. Mahir says, what do you think, Shivam? What are your
Eh,
thoughts on that? You think they're going to open it up again?
Yes, around we don't know it will be true or not, but I
No.
believe when because they have to do give the equal chance to everybody.
Yeah.
So I believe if this program is closing on 5th November, maybe in the first week of November, they will reopen it for 10,000 or something. And in that, I predict that will be filled in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, everybody is ready now, right? Especially
Yeah,
everybody
there's
knows what to expect.
75% chances are there they will open it again.
Yeah. Well, there
Yeah.
you go. So that's Shivam's his guess, and nobody knows for sure, but it's always
Nobody.
fun to make your guesses, right? So
Yeah. That's very
we'll finish off with this last congratulations to you, Shivam, from Francis. Francis is a
Yeah.
past subscriber to my courses as well, and yeah, it was great to have your participation within the group and to
Yeah.
share what you've been learning. And it's been really beneficial for, what do we have? Almost 400 people, I think, in the TR to PR pathway course right now in the Facebook group. But I appreciate you coming on to join me today. This is really informative for everyone, and I think it gives hope. Right, everybody knows that this is going to go fast, and
Yeah.
once your number is drawn, it doesn't take the officer long to approve it.
The thing is, the people who applied just within first hour, they don't need to worry about it much. Who applied, and when there is the express entry draws coming in, I know everybody don't do want to miss the chance, but in the sixth, they must withdraw from their because they are ruining somebody else's chance from FSW draw too. All right.
Yep.
If they are in the first hour or maybe first 1.5 hour, you will get this a lot quicker. And if there's nothing suspicious about the application,
Yeah.
then they should not put the second application, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's and that's the thing that everybody needs to realize is that as long as you're not missing anything from your application, it's going to go fast because there's
Yeah.
not a lot that an officer has to go through or check, especially for
And
the international grads. But if there are
even we have
mistakes, it can delay things, right? If there are things that are missing, if there are, essential documents, to this stage I haven't heard anyone that's had their application refused yet. Maybe there is,
no.
but I haven't heard of anyone yet. So we'll just have to see.
My take is maybe they don't want to waste the time of the officers. That's why they are sending the biometric request, before the AOR and all that. And even if they maybe they are just putting the applications on side, people who are not getting the AORs. And so they will see if they're getting around 25,000 or 30,000 getting approved from this or not. If they are not getting it, maybe they will consider the application that they put it on side,
Yeah. Yep.
right?
That's a good point. Okay,
Yeah.
so at this
If they
stage,
get the sorry,
oh, I
if
was
they
just
get
gonna.
the enough, if they get the enough people from 40,000, then they will not give the second chance to they put it on side. If they didn't, then they have to give the second chance.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to
Yeah.
see how it all plays out. That's for sure. Now, we've got
Yeah.
one last question from Michael. He says, Shivam, is your photo approved on the portal? Do you have your
For
card yet?
Yeah, photo is approved on the portal. It just got yesterday approved. And for the card, we are looking around maybe 45 days to
Yeah.
120 days ish.
Yeah,
Depends.
it's yeah.
It's just a random
Yeah,
gambling.
and understand with as the travel restrictions still haven't been lifted, and so there's still some uncertainty with that, and
Yeah.
so PR cards are still really really low on the priority scale for the government, even the first ones.
Yeah.
So you
Uh,
can expect a little bit of a
because
wait.
basically you cannot try. And one more thing, the COPR we are receiving it. It's written like as a blur. You cannot travel with that document.
No,
They don't want to get us out.
no, no, you can't. You need to have your card for sure.
Yeah,
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much, Shivam, for joining us this morning and sharing your story. This is
yeah,
great. It's been wonderful, very informative, and I appreciate your willingness to share
yeah.
your experience.
No,
So thank you very much.
no problem. Thank you for your course too. I recommend everybody, if they are not, they don't want to spend around 5,000 or 6,000 for any consultant or and if you are basically going through the express entry, the programs that basically don't ask for more letters, they just want the actual proofs, and you are good with the proofs, you can take the mux course, and you will be very good in very good position, I would say, to apply without even any consultant or lawyer.
Yeah, and the reality, Shivam, the reason I created those courses was for DIYers like you. People who
Yeah,
wanted to learn, who wanted to understand the process, who wanted to educate themselves and to know what was right and what was wrong. And when you've got all of those things together, the course is a perfect fit because you don't need to hire someone, right? And
we don't need
especially in this world that we have right now, I'll tell you something, Shivam. I had a consult with a person a couple days back, and they said that there was a there was a consultant who had 35 people that they were
them.
representing. They had
Yeah,
all of the people come into the office on May the 5th, the day before, and I think he was charging 3,500 per person. And I think you guys remember what I said. I said, if you have a representative, then you better make sure what position you are in that queue. And if you're not number one, then you're better off filing it yourself. And in the end, this person just backed away and said it wasn't worth it, and they ended up filing their own application. But I saw a lot of that, and so if they're just willing to learn just a little bit, they're often going to be in a far better position than if they hire, a representative who truly doesn't care or have the capacity to actually do it properly. So so that's why I created the courses. And how many, and Shivam, do you remember how many clients I took when I submitted the applications? How many clients do you remember? Yeah.
one.
Yeah. And guess how many clients I could have hired, could have hired me at whatever, $4,000 a pop. I probably could have had 100. And but I didn't want to prejudice anyone. So I'm super excited. I'm delighted that you got it in so fast. And it's just wonderful. So thanks so much, and good luck in your future in Canada. Make sure you stay in touch, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Take care, Shivam. See you later.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was wonderful to have Shivam joining us. It was it was really good to see insight. You can tell that Shivam had spent time. He had actually done his homework. He was one of the first subscribers to the TR to PR Pathway course, which you can still register for. Those of you, if they do choose to open it up again, that course is still open, and it's at 50% of what I originally charged for the course, because I'm not going in live and doing those 2-hour live sessions every night, because now we have all the answers. And, so the course itself has got a series of video tutorials on every part of the whole TR to PR process. And so if that's something that you're looking through as an option, if you're an essential worker, definitely subscribe to the course. And I know you'll get the same benefits that Shivam did. Heck, he was able to file it in 3 minutes. And even for my client, like, it was about 15 minutes it took us to file it. But he had, I think, 4 children as well as his spouse. And so we had quite a bit of stuff that we had to upload. And I took a few extra minutes to make sure that the letters of explanation and that all the documents matched. So I knew we were going to have lots of time. And so those of you who are getting your permanent residence, congratulations. And those who are waiting, it's coming. All right, let's jump in here. And we've got a ton of questions that are being posted. I know if I skip through your question, and you didn't get it answered by Shivam, I'm sorry. I was trying to pick out the ones that would be the best for everyone. Okay, let's see. Anip says, got my e-Coper. I am live from, he's living in Northeast Calgary. Your program helped me a lot. Thanks, bro. Anip, you're very welcome. And you know what? You guys who took the course, you were ready. You were prepared. And I'm just so excited to have had an opportunity to be a part of your journey. Okay, let's jump into some more questions here. Can you apply 2 applications under the PNP Express Entry and CAC as well? Well, technically, yes, you can. But you need to make sure that in many provinces, if they see you've received an ITA through Express Entry, often they'll make you choose. So if they realize that you've already received an ITA before your PNP has been processed, like the Ontario program, they'll be able to see your profile is locked. And that means that you've received an ITA, and they'll make you choose whether you want to go through them and decline that ITA, or whether you're going to give up that nomination. So that's how it works, Sandeep. Okay, and lots of congratulations for our guest today. And thank you guys for sharing the love. Like, this is a journey we're all in together. And, I'm so privileged to have been born in Canada and to have been raised here and to call this home from birth. But you guys, I am so excited for the future. I'm so excited for our country, really, and for what the future holds with all of you amazing new immigrants who are coming, those who are transitioning from temporary status to permanent. I'm excited. Shivam shared a little bit of information with me on what he now plans to do, and that guy has got it together. He's got plans. He's going to start a business, and I'm just excited. Next time I go to Kelowna, I'm going to be stopping in to see him. So very, very cool. It's just awesome for me to be a part of it, to help in any small way that I can, including through these live Q&As. Oh, and by the way, I want all of you today at noon to tune in and cheer on Portugal because my second home country are playing France today in the Euros, and I sure hope that they can pull out the victory. If it's a draw, they may still be able to get through, but I'm hoping that they're going to advance. So after this is over, I'm definitely going to be watching my beloved Portugal play France in the Euros to advance. So watch and cheer them on. All right, let's see what else we have here. Okay, I'm just going to pull this up and I'm just going to talk to Sandeep. And I'm just gonna ring this right here. So whenever an individual asks about whether or not they can qualify for a certain program or whether or not something will work specifically to them, I never want to try to answer that question because I just don't simply have the facts. Sometimes I can read your question and I can sort it out, but if it's a question that relates specifically to you, I highly recommend that you book a consult. And in fact, this this last week, I had a ton of people that had booked consultations. And in that 25 minutes, we were able to resolve all of their concerns and to give them advice that they could actually rely upon. Why? Because I actually had all the facts. And in this, I'm always leery to give a specific instruction on whether something will work or not without getting all the information. So that's why if you hear this bell, that's a specific question, legal advice that would require a consultation. But sharing information, oh yeah, I'll do that. We've got another almost 30 minutes, 25 minutes left, and I'll be answering your questions. Okay, so he says, I need to know about a restaurant manager LMIA. If I'm eligible for a work permit through LMIA and restaurant manager post, as of now, I've completed master's degree. Okay, Sandeep, I'm not sure exactly what you're asking here. The reality is if your company gets a labor market impact assessment for you, then yes, you can apply for a work permit. Ultimately, whether or not that will be approved or not depends on a lot of factors. That would require one of these for me to assess in detail. So, all right. Okay. Asks a great question. Are they processing outland applications? I think you guys will know by now that that immigration is now starting to process, and I'm actually going to pull this up because I'm going to pull this up. And I just did an announcement just the other day. Let's see if we can find it here. Let's see if we can find it. There's so many people that are posting now. The original announcement from IRCC, I can't even find it. I was going to search it because all these other third parties are all posting notifications and about the changes. And I don't think, let's just see here. Yeah, I don't see anything here to confirm this in detail like I wanted to. So we'll just keep moving forward. But the reality is, Astha, is that immigration is starting to process. So people that have valid confirmations of permanent residence can now travel. So that was one of the big notifications. Go back to the YouTube, my YouTube page where you guys are where you're on right now, Astha, and go in and watch the video that I did on this new announcement and the benefits that are going to flow because of immigration now starting to allow people with valid COPRs to travel. So what that means is now they can start processing outland applications, and when they're approved, people can travel. Now, with that being said, I'm just gonna shift back here. This one you probably, let's shrink this down the screen so you guys can see here. In some cases though, like when it comes to these are the government measures that from Canada regarding the first phase to ease the borders. Now, the reality is I was doing this before, and when I typed in India here, you can see the Minister of Transport from Canada says that because the cases continue to be very high in India, they've extended the flight restrictions for this country. And so they'll continue to assess it. And if we scroll down here a little bit further, notice to airmen, it'll be extended until July 21st, 2021, the interim order. So some countries, even if you have a valid COPR, you're not going to be able to travel if there are specific restrictions for your country. So we'll have to wait and see until July 21st. All right. Okay, so this is a good one. So Ukpokwo says, I applied as an essential worker, but my letter of employment was lacking average hours per week and specific duties. I can tell you that that could be a problem. Now, for Shivam, it wasn't a problem, and you heard him say it right from his mouth, that they were not refusing because his reference letter from his employer was just very simple. That said, yes, he's employed, he's been working for this period of time. It didn't have duties, he indicated, and under the international graduate stream, that wasn't fatal for him. But when it comes to essential workers, you have an obligation to prove that you are actually working in the NOC code that's on the list. And so in this case, Ukpoko, you could very well have problems with your application if it doesn't contain the specific duties that allows an officer to confirm that you were actually working in the NOC code that fell within the essential worker list. Okay, so that's a reality. Okay. There's a good question, Sadanth. Not sure. It's possible, but remember, to a large extent, the applications on non-essential, I think it really just depends upon the timing and how fast you got your application submitted. All right, this one is from Zina says, okay, my PCC was issued after my last visit to another country, but the PCC only includes the period which I had resident status. Does include several short visits afterward. Is it okay? That is one I'm going to ring the bell right there, Zainab, because we'll need a lot more information. If you have returned to a country after it was originally issued, and you seem to indicate that possibly you did, then I always obtain a new police certificate. I never take a chance. Haha, Michael says, Mark, do you have a course for visitor visas? Let's see, how many do we have? We've got 300 people watching live this morning. I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. As soon as the borders lift and travel restrictions, as soon as the borders open and travel restrictions are lifted, I will absolutely be releasing my DIY visitor visa course. Now, here's one other thing that I want to let you in on, guys. This course is going to be offered for free. I'm not going to charge anything for it. So I'm just announcing it here, and I'm not going to post it anywhere else. But that visitor visa course is something that I'm going to offer to the world for free at no cost, and it's going to be awesome. So just a little teaser. And so we haven't scheduled the day for it to be launched, but I am so excited to do this. It's one of the ways that I can give back to all of the wonderful people who have purchased my courses, who are in my classes, and I've got a wonderful group of Express Entry students right now going through our Express Entry step-by-step course, and the master class that I have associated with these courses is just wonderful. It's just like this, but there's a much smaller group, and we get everybody's questions answered, and everybody helps each other, and it's just amazing. And the TR to PR pathway course, that is still live, that's still going, and people are still benefiting from it. And yeah, so the visitor visa, it's coming, Michael. Okay, Yashwant says, do you also deal with the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program stream? That is really employer driven. And so programs that are employer driven often are more focused on counsel in that province. So when I have the Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program, I usually refer to my good friends that are immigration lawyers in those provinces, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, PEI, St. John's. And so I usually refer out to my immigration lawyer friends out there who are very, very familiar with the program. And so I don't do any AIPP stream. And that's just another example of how I practice, right? I don't just do everything and then be average at everything. I focus on being the best that I possibly can. And then I narrow my focus down to the things that I'm awesome at. And when it comes to the other lawyers in my firm, each of them have areas of expertise that is just so effective when it comes to representing clients. And that's how we manage our firm. And when we have things like Quebec-based applications, I then refer them to the experts out in those provinces, the immigration lawyers that are super knowledgeable, and just, I know that they're going to give the people I refer the same level and quality of representation as they'd get from my firm. All right. Good question, Yeshwant. Okay. This is a good question, Marina. She says, okay, in countries where the visa offices are still in the midst of a pandemic, where the virus is still really at high levels, are they going to be processed in Canada? Are they going to be sent back? Well, one of the issues, Marina, right now is that they're still requiring the confirmation of permanent residence to be imprinted in a passport for someone to travel. And as long as that's the case, it doesn't matter if the application's processed in Montreal or in Ottawa in Canada. If the person is an outlander, who's outside of the country, FSW, and they are and they're not in Canada, the airlines just don't get it. Like, immigration tried in the beginning to issue letters to people with expired COPRs that said you can now travel even on an expired one, and airlines weren't boarding people. So at this stage, they're still requiring visitor visa, those counterfoil visas that are imprinted right into the passport. They're still requiring those. Now, I know they're looking at trying to get rid of it. I know they're looking at removing it, but at this stage, it's still there. And so that's one of the realities. And so, yes, I think where the virus is high, the visa offices are not able to operate at the same level of capacity that they did before pre-pandemic. I think, yes, it is going to be slow. Okay, let's see what Yuri says here. Hey, Mark, I just want to say thank you for your help and support. I received my e-COPR on June 17th, submitted my EE application on March 14th, draw 176. Yes! That is so awesome. I am so, so happy for you, Yuri. I love hearing the success stories. Okay. Hey, people are asking, are we going to have another draw? Well, let's take a look. Let's go here to the round of invitations. I'm going to go EEIRCC. I've done this so many times. Let's see if there's any changes. Any draws yet, guys? June 10th. No draw since June 10th. It could come. It could come. Remember, when we look at the draws and we're examining them, you can go back and see the previous rounds. And routinely, you can see there's been a PNP and then a CEC. So that's how the staggering has. Sometimes it happens the next day. You can see June 10th, June 9th. Sometimes the draws are later, 26th to the 31st. So the last draw we saw for the Canadian Experience class took us down to 368. And before that, it was about 11 days, you can see here, 10 days from this one to this one that took it down to 368, and they did 6,000. So I think if they do another 6,000 right here and they do it today, I think this will drop a little bit, maybe down to, 364 maybe. We'll see if they do it today or tomorrow. And then the PNPs, well, the PNPs are what they are. So thought I'd just share that with you guys. All right. Let's keep zipping through here. Okay, and like I said, if you have a question that's very specific to you, I'm going to ring the bell and direct you to go over to our firm website. And I've showed this to you guys a lot in the past. I'm going to flip my screen around here. All you have to do is go right here to our firm website, and you can book a consultation right here. Okay. And we would love to work with you. We'd love to answer any questions that you have and get you well situated. And some people are asking very specific questions, so that's why I'm skipping past you guys. Okay, Negger says, does anyone receive peer-to-peer AOR? Negger, the whole guest at the beginning of the session here of the live stream was all about someone who's become a permanent resident, not just an AOR. Okay. Okay, here's a good question. So Shamod says, hi, Mark, just want to clarify. So if someone gets a confirmation of permanent residence tomorrow, will they be able to travel, or is it on before June 21st, 2021? On or before? No. Going forward, this is the rule that's changed. Anyone that's received it, a confirmation of permanent residence, going forward will be able to travel. Great question. Let's see. Okay, so I know, Raheel, you've asked lots of questions in the past. Let's see if we can pull something out of here that benefits everyone. So you got your approved application, still haven't received the PPR. When do you think we'd get one? It depends on the country. I'm going to start with that. With the changes to exemptions and travel restrictions, do you think they'd finalize online applications now? Meds valid till October. Yes, I do. I believe now that because they've opened it up for people that have valid COPRs, that they are now going to start processing. So how long? We're just not sure at this stage, But yes, that's the significant announcement that's happened. And that's why it's such good news for Outlanders. Okay, Sunny's asking a good question. Are the CEC draws, oh, excuse me, are the CEC draws usually done for the entire express entry pool versus standalone as they're doing now as a COVID exception? Okay, I'm not quite sure if I understand the question, but in the past, it was open. And we didn't have many CEC only draws. A couple times we did. But I think once the borders open, I think they may go back to open draws. So we'll just have to see how it plays out. All right, let's see here. Okay, Maria's asking a question about, can you ask for a status update via the web form? Well, yes, that's how you do it. And yes, you can. If your application hasn't been moving forward for more than 2 years on the online account, I'm ringing the bell because there are issues. And Maria, I recommend that you slide over here to our firm, book a consult, and let's get to the bottom of it. Because any application that's been in the queue for 2 years, there are issues with it. And if a decision has not yet been made, you want to make sure that you've gone in, you've looked at your GCMS notes, and you know exactly what the problem is. Yep, Negger, the next CEC draw can be tomorrow. We've got lots of people asking questions about when the next Outland will be. Okay, Fatima, or Fatima, depending on where you're from. If you're in Portugal, you're Fatima. Being self-employed, can we apply under the EE program? You can if you're FSW, but not if you're trying to claim Canadian work experience under CEC. Okay, Turdeep says, should I move to a different province for work while I'm waiting for the TR to PR AOR? You can totally move. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. So that's a decision you'll have to make. You can always book a consult and we can sort through anything if I'm missing something. Remember, you're not going to move to Quebec, that's for sure, because Quebec doesn't participate in this program. Okay, Serby says, the previous company I worked with changed its name due to a merger. How do I claim the work experience? The same way you do. A name change doesn't mean anything. You just notify and explain to IRCC. Hopefully the reference letter, if there's a merger and there's a name change, then hopefully the new company, there's someone there that would be able to issue you a reference letter that confirms the transition, the corporate restructuring. Okay. All right, this is a tough one, Javier. I think I'm going to be ringing the bell for you. Application is a year due, didn't provide duties on the job letter, submitted it through web form. Would you recommend to withdraw and reapply into the draw? Ringing the bell, Javier. I need a whole lot more opportunities to talk to you in detail. So I recommend that you book a consult. Okay, Vikrant says, how do you calculate hours in TR to PR pathway? The way I calculate is probably not the same as a lot of people. When I'm calculating hours, I treat things as one of two things, either part-time 15 hours or full-time 30 hours. Anything more than that, I don't add it up faster to accumulate the 1,560 hours faster. I treat 15 to 29 as part-time. And if you've only worked 29 hours per week and not 30, then I consider that part-time. That would require essentially 2 years of work experience to claim one. If you have 35 hours per week and you meet the 1,560 hours in 11 months versus 12, I wait till you've worked the full 12 months to claim the full 1,560 essential for the program. Others may try to average or accumulate them faster, and it's possible that an officer may accept that in some circumstances. But for me, I am very, very conservative in how I do that. And the reality is I've never, ever had a client refused for that reason for improperly calculating hours. Now, in my TR to PR pathway course, I have an hours of work calculator that's specifically designed to help you demonstrate to the officer that you have the hours and to help you sort out if you have enough. I have the same type of calculator for CEC and FSW in my Express Entry course. And those are just examples of some of the tools that I have available when people purchase those courses. Okay. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll kind of wrap up with this one. I'm gonna turn the music on, and I'm gonna back it out so everybody can hear me. So it's just gonna play faintly in the background, and we'll go to the music's out. Okay, so Shoaib says, if I got an ITA September and my IELTS result expires in December and my decision is not yet finalized, do I have to give IELTS exam again? The question is not whether or not you received or when you received your ITA. The question is, or the factor that's the most important, is when you actually submitted your application, submitted your EAPR. Once you've submitted your EAPR, then your IELTS scores are locked in, and no, you do not need to redo them. However, if your IELTS scores are expiring within a month of submitting your application, that makes me very uneasy. And I always encourage my clients to go and write the tests again if they're less than a month before they expire, right around the time that they're filing their EAPRs. Maria says, have a session to discuss outbound PRs? Absolutely, I will, Maria. And remember, the Express Entry step-by-step course goes through everything. That course covers, there's over 50 individual lessons, videos, tools, templates, checklists, all designed to help you work through it. And I've got a class going on right now, Maria, and I recommend every single person that goes through Express Entry would benefit from it. Heck, every single person that goes through the TR to PR pathway would also benefit from it. So you do not want to take chances, and I recommend that you do subscribe to that. But yes, we can do a Q&A as well. Okay. Okay, Drew says, I didn't mention my trip to home country. Would it be a problem? Well, you have an obligation to list all your travel. So it depends, I guess, is the best way to describe it. All right. We're going to wrap it up right there, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. It was another great live Q&A. It was fun to have Shivam. Thank you so much, Shivam, for joining and sharing your journey. Congratulations to Shivam and all of those who are now permanent residents of Canada through the TR to PR Pathway program. I can't tell you how proud I am for the people who've gone through the course, done the work, taken the TR to PR Pathway course, and are now permanent residents. Shivam submitted his application in 3 minutes, literally 3 minutes, and virtually error-free. So big shout out to him, the people who are doing the work, you DIYers out there who want to learn, who want to understand. You guys are awesome. Holthe Immigration Law, my firm, is all about working with you guys. You are the ones that we love to work with. You DIYers at heart that are willing and want to learn and grow and progress. If you go to my site and you're wondering, what's this about, Mark? The Canadian Immigration Institute, he's always here. What is Holthe Immigration Law? This is my law firm. And when you go here, I'd encourage you to go and click on our approach. And when you go to our page, it talks all about our collaborative review approach. And I can tell you guys that I would hold that up against any form of representation across the country. Any of the traditional forms using paralegals, and I don't care how experienced they are, lawyers, consultants who have this big team of people that you never actually talk to the lawyer or to the consultant. This collaborative review model means you work directly with me. You work directly with Alicia, with Susan, with the immigration lawyers that are in my firm. And so we absolutely love the collaborative review model because it allows you to have control of your application, but yet get the very, very best from us because we do it together. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. Another wonderful live Q&A. And once again, thanks to Shivam, and congratulations to all of you who are moving forward in your journey. Take care. We'll see you again soon.